Good evening, good evening. Someone give me a thumbs up in chat if you can hear me. We'll wait a few minutes here, a few seconds, should I say, to let some people hop in the stream, and we'll get started. Thank you, Shayna. Thank you, Alan. All righty. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. We got 60 of you guys in here, so we'll go ahead and get underway. So first and foremost, welcome to the stream. We've had a busy week of tracking this potential system that we've been watching for at least 10 days now, and it's finally come to fruition where it's going to be happening here next 48 hours or so. So first and foremost, there is going to be some uncertainty still with regards to exact rain snow lines that could shift minorly or over the next couple of model runs into the Monday evening into the early Tuesday morning time frame. So I want to start by looking at the GFS model first. We'll go ahead and go through models, go through hour by hour type of stuff for areas, and then we'll go ahead and switch over to the Euro and do it for the same with the European model. So first and foremost on the GFS model here, we're going to look at the snow and rain model. So it's going to show you exactly where snow and rain is predicted to fall and when. First and foremost, go ahead and move this through the day today into tomorrow. We saw the system out here, center of it over Oklahoma here, snow on the north side, rain on the south side. Move that through the Monday evening time or the Monday evening into the Tuesday morning time frame here. We do see the snow. This is going to be 7 p.m. on Monday night. The snow begins to work in towards the northwest Indiana, northern Illinois area. And by early Tuesday morning, just about midnight to 1 a.m., we have the snow band here that moves into the state, southern parts of the state, as early as midnight Monday/Tuesday morning. I expect it to be a little bit later than that. I don't think it's going to start that early, but it is going to start rather early either way Tuesday morning. So hour by hour here going through Tuesday morning, this is going to be 1 in the morning. We start seeing more snow work its way up into the central parts of the state, and then overshadowing the entire lower peninsula and also parts of the UP by early Tuesday morning. This is 4 a.m. And then by the 7 a.m. time frame, we still see the snow is engulfed in the entire state. And then if we bump it forward to 10 a.m. here, we start seeing rain mix in down toward the Ohio and Indiana borders. And then if we move forward here into the Tuesday afternoon time frame after the 12 noon time frame, we start seeing rain mixing in down here towards I-94, towards Ann Arbor, Detroit, Battle Creek, Grand Rapids, Lansing, those types of areas. And as the evening goes on into Tuesday, that rain snow line shifts even further north up toward the Flint, the Tri-City, Bay City, Saginaw areas, down toward Mount Pleasant, down toward the North Grand Rapids area. So with that being said, it's going to be starts to snow for everybody here. That transitions over to rain during the day and evening hours to the south, where you see this rain snow line set up here from about like I said, Bay City, Tri-City area down toward Grand Rapids. So moving this forward into the overnight hours on Wednesday, snow continues up in the central and northern parts of the lower peninsula, and also parts of the UP scene, getting in on the action here, seeing some snow showers and snow as well. Going into the overnight hours on Wednesday, or early Wednesday, should I say, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, snow lingers around. We could have a dry slot here where the low passes over. That's going to be a little bit uncertain at this point. So we could see a lull in activity late Tuesday, early Wednesday. And then on the backside of this, winds start to pick up, and we have some leftover snow showers on the backside, although moisture on the backside is not going to be as abundant. So the accumulations on the backside aren't going to be as much, but it's still going to be a possibility with the wind blowing and snow showers that we could see some blinding reductions in visibilities, as well as blinding snow and stuff like that. So definitely want to be mindful of that if you're traveling during the day on Wednesday for any snow showers and stuff like that. That could kick up some wind that could kick up the snow showers and reduce visibility here. So that's the GFS model. Go ahead and go over the European model, and we'll go ahead and take a peek at that. Actually, the Euro does not have that option on this website. So we'll go ahead and skip the Euro. The Euro shows a similar story, early Tuesday morning start, or early Tuesday start time, and then it transitions to snow to rain south of the I-96 corridor there. But we'll go ahead and go back to the GFS here, and we'll look at the overall accumulation totals. And this is, I know a lot of you are going to freak out over these and whatnot. But I'm here to tell you the specifics. There's been a lot of hype about the system. So what we're expecting here is as this low moves through, the initial band here that we see that moves into South Michigan and also central parts of Michigan as the morning of Tuesday comes on, that snow is likely to be very heavy. We call it the frontogenesis band. It's probably going to dump anywhere from 2, 4, maybe 5 or 6 inches of snow in some spots across southern Michigan. I'm talking areas along I-94 like Lenawee County, Monroe County, Hillsdale Branch. There's 2 bottommost tiers of counties likely to see heavy snow in the early morning hours of Tuesday, which will impact your morning commute on Tuesday. Unfortunately, though, when that switches over to rain, the rain's going to impact the accumulation total. So while we could see, and likely we'll see heavy snow Tuesday morning, that's going to be reduced by the amount of rain we're going to see on Tuesday, because the amount of rain on Tuesday is quite significant, up to about an inch in some spots. So it's going to cut into those snow totals significantly. But as we go through accumulations here, we're going to see the GFS model does show a bullseye here in southeast Michigan from the Ann Arbor, Jackson, Lenawee, Adrian, Monroe, Hillsdale areas of upwards of 5, 6, maybe even 7 inches in spots here. That's isolated. But overall, 3 to 6 inches is likely along a thin band here. I could stretch all the way over to Kalamazoo as well in this little particular area along in south of the I-94 corridor. Moving to the day on Tuesday, we see this heavy snow swath continues north, dumps a few more inches as it works north. Now, again, if you're north of, we'll say, Mount Pleasant, it's going to remain pretty much all snow. We don't expect it to switch over north of Mount Pleasant, although it could in some spots. The further south you are, we don't really expect much in the way of flipping back and forth the further north you go. But as we move into the day on Tuesday into Tuesday night, we see this heaviest snow swath here does impact portions of central and northern Michigan, north of Grand Rapids, all the way up to the tip of the mitten, maybe even clipping the eastern part of the UP in about, we'll say, 5 to 8 plus inches of snow. We could see up to 10 inches in spots, but don't expect more than 10 inches is what I'm going to say for right now. I think the majority of you guys in the heaviest snow swath is going to be between the 5 and 8 mark. So areas like Traverse City, Cadillac, West Branch, Gaylord, Grayling, Houghton Lake, all the way up through the Alpena, Rogers City, Sheboygan area. Those are going to be the cities that are going to see the heaviest snow. So again, that's going to be where the heaviest snow. If you go just south here, where you see this rain, or where the heaviest snow band sets up here, just south of that is where that rain snow line is going to really determine the outcome of this system. So we went ahead and made a map here. We'll go ahead and show you that now. And this is a map that we posted yesterday. That rain snow line today, this is yesterday's map, but this is today's model data. So that rain snow line, the pink area, may have shifted about a county more to the north in some of those spots. And an updated map for you showing just snowfall is going to be what looks like this. Now, 5 to 8 north, 2 to 4 south, 1 to 3 up in the thumb, closer to the lakes. And then that swath of 4 to 6, we're going to say, or could be 3, could be 4, 5, up to 6 inches along the I-94 corridor. But again, all that snow, if you are south of this black circle here, mainly Grand Rapids, Lansing, Flint, Saginaw, Pontiac, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Adrian, those areas, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, that area will likely not see much in the way of accumulation just due to that rain cutting in on those totals. So with that being said, north of that circle should remain pretty much all snow. But if you are in that black circle, that's going to be the uncertain area where we're going to have probably a rain snow mix at times, just because the temperatures are going to be hovering right around that freezing mark and above freezing. So we're not really going to have an idea of where exactly that sets up, because that could drift 25 miles either direction, which is the county wide of an area. It's a pretty significant shift. It's a minor shift, but it's also significant if you think about the population. So that's where we're just going to draw the line here and say further shifting is going to be possible as we move into tonight's models, and also Monday morning and evening models. Now I can show you a few different things, what we're kind of looking at as well here. Just showing you overall shifting patterns and stuff like that. If I go ahead and click compare model runs, and I go back and I find, we'll go hour 76 here, and I'll click load comparison. Now this is your heaviest snow swath, right? I'll go ahead and flip over here to the Great Lakes and go ahead and redo this so it's a better look for you guys. Go ahead and go back to hour 76. I'll show you the shifting that's going on over the past couple of model runs. So this is the latest model data. You're going to see the heaviest snow swath here in northern Michigan. and this is going to go backwards. Okay, from now going backwards. This is what the shifting is doing. 1 model run back, not much shifting. 2 model runs back, not much shifting. 4 model runs back, not much shifting. We go continue further back, we're going to start to see this shift a little bit more. So it shifted south, keeps shifting south, keeps shifting south. So what the trend overall right now, because this is moving backwards, is a shift to the north. So if any more shifting is going to happen, I would say likely is going to be shifting slightly to the north. It may drift a little bit further south, but overall the trend, if I go ahead and move this forwards, starting back on January 4th on the model run and continue this moving through the today time frame, you're going to see the shift north, and you're going to see it pretty clearly. And lately it's been pretty consistent, but again, minor shifts could be significant in terms of population here in Michigan. So again, overall, the south of the I-94 corridor Tuesday morning could see significant snow. And then that transitions to rain. We could see a period of freezing rain as well, although I don't really think that's likely looking at today's models. It's possible, but impacts now are not going to be as a problem, I guess I'll say, just because we don't expect it to last very long, and then also temperatures rise very quickly. In terms, again, going back to the precipitation type, I want to show you guys this before I take some questions. I do want to show you guys this one more time for those of you who are just joining. Overall synoptic pattern of this is it starts to snow early Tuesday morning for southern Michigan. That snow will work its way north through central and northern parts of lower Michigan. And then by, we'll say, late morning, early afternoon on Tuesday, that changes over to snow here. We start seeing snow mix in right around 10 a.m. on Tuesday, according to the GFS model. And that rain continues to fill in, move north. It could be heavy at times. We could see some localized flooding as well. Because if you think about it, if you imagine, we'll say the higher side, if we get 5-6 inches of snow that gets dumped along I-94, and then we have heavy rain that comes in after that, if storm drains are blocked, that could create a problem for drainage of the rain. So a heavy rain combination with potential storm drains and storm drainage areas being blocked could create some flooding in urban areas. So keep that in mind as well. But overall, when all said and done on Wednesday morning, the accumulation south of that rain snow line are not going to be as significant as north of that rain snow line. So overall, this forecast is still well. If you are in the pink area, expect snow. It could be heavy at times, to rain, potential for some mixing of freezing rain early on in the afternoon, but I don't expect that to be very impactful at all. And then if you are north of that, in the specifically the dark blue area, we are expecting the highest accumulations, 5 to 8+ inches. So with that being said, we have 600 people in here, so thank you guys for watching. I'll go ahead and look in chat here. I'm not going to be able to get to all of your guys' questions, but I will try to answer them if you have questions here. So go ahead and drop those in chat if you have questions. If not, great. Thanks for watching, and we'll have an update. We'll go live again tomorrow evening as well to kind of cover updates if anything needs updating. So again, going to chat here. Midland, you're going to be close to that rain snow line. I would say it could go either way for you guys. You're fairly close to that rain snow line, so I wouldn't be shocked to go either way. I do want to cover one more thing. And I'm seeing a lot of people in chat here ask about next weekend's storm. I will cover it briefly. I'm not going to dive in very deep, but I do want to cover this because we are watching an active pattern. I do want to show you guys one thing in particular, and that is the track of the system, and I'll show you how much this is changing and why we're not kind of diving in just yet. So if I go back and I'll go ahead and move this forward. What hour do I want? I want hour 17 or 126. So I click compare previous runs. Let's go ahead and do hour 126. That works. So we have the system here. We're going to kind of watching it for next weekend. Right now it's further south, but just watch how much variability there is right now with these model runs. This is comparing runs between the current run going back 4 days. Just watch how much it shifts. Right now it's shifting south. So the hype is real about it. I mean, I'm not going to deny there's a system that could potentially impact Michigan, but overall, is it going to be snow? Is it going to be rain? Because this is what it looked like 4 days ago, and now look what it looks like. Okay, that's a difference between Michigan getting snow and Michigan getting mist. So we're not going to dive into that. We are watching the system. We'll have updates throughout the week. Stay tuned to the page, but we're not going to go in much deeper just because I don't want to, because model data right now is just inaccurate and it's still shifting significantly. So there's no reason to dive into it. And then one more thing I want to show is the HRRR model and a little bit more in depth about that initial band of snow. just because I am kind of interested. I might go out and chase that personally, but also I think it's going to be impactful here for the morning commute on Tuesday for the I-94 area. And I just want to cover this one more time. If we go ahead and click on Snowfall accumulation, I go through this and move this through Tuesday morning. We see the initial band of snow here could be quite intense at times. This is the high resolution model. This isn't the GFS model. This is another model kicking in on that. And this is a pretty widespread band, honestly, along I-94 here, which tops 6 inches. So again, that initial band of snow could be quite heavy. Now, again, if you are north of that area, closer to that range snow line, you may see a quite a significant boost to your snow totals with that initial frontogenesis band. So with that being said, back to chat. I know it's kind of a bunny trail there, but I do want to cover those two topics because I know people are going to ask about next weekend's system. But yeah, that is definitely a thing. But again, we're not going to know the impacts just yet, if any. No, it's not looking like a no ice event. It's possible, Brad, that we could see some freezing rain mix in, but the chances of that are quite low. And if it does, it's not going to amount to much, just maybe some slick sidewalks. I don't expect it to last very long. And temperatures will continue to rise through the afternoon, so not going to see much in the way of impacts from any freezing rain, if any does fall. There is your accumulation for those of you asking about specific areas. Now, again, if you are south of the black circle, anywhere from Kalamazoo, Lansing, Flint, Pontiac, Detroit, Grand Rapids, you guys are going to have snow, which could be heavy in the morning on Tuesday, but then rain washes it away. So while 2 to 4, upwards of 6 inches in spots could fall, what's going to be left on the ground on Wednesday? Probably not much. Worst time driving as impacts, depends on where you're at, but all Tuesday will likely be impacted, and Wednesday morning will likely be impacted as well. By Wednesday afternoon, I'd expect there to be a significant crew of snowplows working to clear. So I would assume by Wednesday evening, we should be looking at much improved conditions, but most of the day on Tuesday, especially Tuesday morning, I would say most impactful. And then Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening would be secondary, but still impactful. Macomb County, snow transitioning to rain. Yes, winds will be an issue. Linda, thank you. I kind of skipped over that topic, glanced over that topic. But yes, winds will be an issue on the backside of that low pressure. During the day on Tuesday, as the front of that low pressure moves through, we could see wind gusts between 25, maybe up to 30, 35. But after that low passes off to our north and to our east, the wind really kicks up, which may also spark some lake effect in some spots. Again, not very certain on that particular outcome, but overall winds could gust up to 45, maybe 50 mile per hour in spots, which could lead to, could lead to blinding conditions if any lingering snow showers, are in the area. Okay, Raymond, that's a great question. Will there be winter weather advisories in Oakland County? So likely, we are likely going to see quite a few, if not majority of the lower peninsula get into a winter weather advisory. I would go ahead and hedge my bet that a good population is going to see some type of advisory out of this. Looking at the discussions from the National Weather Service, I don't know if they're going to issue winter storm warnings up near the 5 to 8 area, just because it's more of a long duration event. Usually for winter storm warnings, you want a lot of snow in a short amount of time. So I'm not sure what they're going to do up there, but I do think it's likely that we're going to see quite a few winter weather advisories. It does include southern Michigan as well, even though we're not going to see much in the way of accumulation when all is said and done. Just because that initial band is so heavy, it's probably going to cause quite a significant impact to travel, although the impacts will be brief, pretty tied to the Tuesday morning time frame. I do think that there could be some short-term advisories or at the very least special weather statements issued. Joel?
Hello.
Questions, going through some chat here. Can we predict the next sunny day? Boy, good question. I don't know offhand. I haven't looked at the cloud cover maps, but we are heading into an active period, so I don't expect to see the sun much at all.
I was checking the forecast. I think I saw like no sun over the next 7 days, at least for West Michigan area.
Yeah, so not looking good for sun lovers. But the good news is we are I guess that's not really good news, but we are looking at this cold coming up here. Doesn't look to last long, maybe a week or two at best, and then it starts to get back to normal, maybe even above normal for February. So there could be a little bit of a cold, or there's going to be a little bit of a colder snap coming, but warmer temperatures, I do think, or warmer than average temperatures, should I say, are on the horizon later on in January, if not into early February, looking at the pattern. School closures on Tuesday, likely, Nicole. It's likely that we're going to see some school closures. Um, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what these school districts do, because if you're in South Michigan, the Tuesday morning time frame is going to be a mess. But Central and Northern Michigan will be fine. But as you get into the Tuesday afternoon time frame, the afternoon when buses go out for the second time in the day, that might be impacted. So I'm be kind of curious to see what they do. But for Wednesday, definitely could see some school closing closings, especially in that 5 to 8 zone the further north you go.
I was going to say some schools nowadays do early release, so that's definitely on the table for a lot of schools across Michigan.
Yeah, I'd be kind of curious to see what they do with that, because the timing on this is going to be a little bit interesting. It's like a south to north type of movement, not really a west to east movement. So it's going to impact the entire state. It's just going to be a matter of when.
Mm-hmm.
Livingston County is going to remain snow at first Tuesday morning, but then switch over to snow in the morning on Tuesday, switch over to rain for Tuesday afternoon and evening, and then back to snow for Wednesday. Is loss of electricity possible in northern metro into the thumb? I would say it's a lower chance than what's going to be up north, just because what I'm concerned about personally is this snow is going to be heavy in nature. It's not going to be the light fluffy type. It's going to be the heavy wet type of snow, which can weigh down trees, power lines, and if trees get weighed down, they can fall on power lines, stuff like that. So you add in wind to the mix with the heavy snow, that's going to be a recipe for potential outages with the wind. But that's likely going to happen where the most snow falls, which is up in that dark blue area up north up into the lower peninsula of Michigan. There, down here in the south, winds are still going to crank, but we're not going to have the snow on the trees and power lines. So while I think isolated power outages are possible, I do think most of the power outages are going to be tied to the northern part of lower Michigan.
Eric has a really. Oh, sorry. I was going to say Eric had a really funny comment about did Michigan report as an eligible receiver for this upcoming snowstorm?
That's a lot. That's a Detroit Lions football joke for those of you not familiar. That's funny.
Yeah.
I see somebody asking about the Mattawan area getting in snow. So again, Mattawan, you're going to be in that zone where the initial band of snow that starts on Tuesday, it'll likely be heavy. So you could see a quick 2, maybe upwards of 4, 5, 6 inches if you're lucky, but then it transitions over to rain. So while we could see that 4 to 6 fall, after all said and done Wednesday afternoon, you're likely not going to have much, if anything at all, on the ground. So you may have quick snow for a day and then boom, gone. That goes for anybody down here in that 4 to 6 zone, and also if you're anywhere south of this black circle of Grand Rapids, Lansing, Flint, Pontiac, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Adrian, Kalamazoo areas. Likely going to see snow. It's just not going to stick around with the rain. Anything from Monroe County? Yeah, you're going to see snow initially, and then again transition over to rain, then back to some snow showers on Wednesday. Which do you think will have more impact, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, Saturday? I mean, I don't want to call Friday, Saturday yet. I'm going to say Tuesday, especially in southern Michigan and central Michigan, might be impactful, I would say. And then Tuesday evening into Wednesday would be impactful for northern Michigan. Friday, Saturday, I just don't want to get specific on that yet. There is potential. It's just I don't know what it's going to be yet. So some of these questions here. It's going to start, Nicole, in the southern parts of Michigan. It's going to start early Tuesday, maybe as early as 1 in the morning. I expect it to be a little bit after that, but again, some further shifting and adjustments in time frame is likely as we get into tonight's models, into tomorrow's models before we get to the event. late Monday night, early Tuesday. So expect further adjustments, but right around that midnight to, we'll say, 3 a.m. Early Tuesday morning is likely when it's going to start in southern Michigan.
Another big issue will be flights out of Michigan and coming in. I know a lot of people are going to Florida this time of the year.
Yeah, well, we're probably going to see some delays there, I would expect. Wouldn't you think, Joe?
Yeah. I would say probably anytime beyond probably noon on Tuesday, you start seeing some delays and cancellations.
Yeah. Timing of snowfall in Branch County. So it's going to start early Tuesday, possibly as early as 2 in the morning. But I'd say by that noon time frame, it should be switching, if not switched over to rain for you guys. West Branch is probably going to be leaning more towards snow up in West Branch, although you're going to be fairly close. I think you're far enough north where you're going to be mostly snow, if not all snow for West Branch. Yes, Amanda, we're just going to have some lingering snow showers on Wednesday morning in the afternoon. It should exit the state, although we could see some lake effect, on Wednesday. I'm just not sure of the extent of that just yet, if any at all. Malcolm, Newaygo counties, looking at probably going to be more of the rain, but you are close to that snow line as well, so it could transition back and forth a couple times throughout Tuesday. But I lean more towards rain for you right now, just given the more northward shift of the latest trend in the models. But again, if that shifts back south, that could change. So we'll have an update for you tomorrow evening before we get into the storm time frame. We might go live on Tuesday as well to kind of give an update on how things are looking. Well, what will driving conditions be North Michigan to Flint be Wednesday impassable? I don't think it's going to be impassable, but definitely take it slow. I would expect by Wednesday afternoon we should see significantly better roadways. Should allow plows time to get out and clear the roads. So I would expect there to be a little bit of an increase in better travel for you there from North Michigan to Flint. But yeah, definitely take it slow on Wednesday until you get a feel for how the roads are looking. Jessica, no, I do not expect this to be a flash freeze type of situation. The temperatures look to gradually kind of fluctuate. I don't expect there to be any major freezing or flash freezing going on with this system. Any chance the storm shifts further south? I'm not significantly. I just don't really see it shifting more than a county, maybe a county and a half in one direction. But still, one county in Michigan, if you line it up, that's 4, 5, 6 counties across. That's a pretty good population. So even minor shifts are still significant in terms of population. But if you're down in, like, say, Lansing, expecting a snow shift to the south, that's unlikely at this point. Pothole season. Yeah, you're right. Jasmine, if anything in the southern part of Michigan is going to be delayed, it'll likely be on Tuesday. Wednesday is looking like more just rain. I don't see much in the way of accumulation and snow to cause impacts to schools. So if any delays or closings are going to be occurring, it's probably going to be either Tuesday, either half day delay, something like that. I don't expect there to be anything on Wednesday. Brittany, you look good for Thursday flying out of DTW. It looks pretty clear on Thursday.
Ryan, I was going to say that Wednesday, especially for places up north, I know rural city, or I guess you could say rural school districts have a tough time clearing those roads out. So I would say some rural districts in the 5 to 8 zone especially could see some school closings or some delays on Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree. Is Monroe, Michigan getting much snow? Not much at all. Although if you want to talk in terms of total accumulation, we could see upwards of 4 or 5 inches. But in terms of final accumulation after the rainfalls, likely not going to see much on the ground, if anything at all. There's a difference here because we're going to see a lot of snow fall. It's just not going to be there when after the rain comes through. It's just going to be melted. So It depends on what you're kind of looking for. If you enjoy snow, you're going to enjoy Tuesday morning. But if you want snow to stick around, you're not going to like the system if you're in that pink zone. What is the Saturday storm looking like? I'm not going to get into detail. Sorry, just not looking at it right now. We did cover it briefly earlier. It's still shifting significantly. Um, it shifted out of Michigan down further into Kentucky, and that's just the way models are, which is why we don't cover it this far in advance. We'll cover it if we think it's going to impact Michigan in any significant ways. Wayne County, looking at again that first initial band could dump 3 to 6 inches of snow, but it's not going to stick around long. By Tuesday afternoon, it should be melting, and by Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning, it should pretty much all be gone, if not very little on the ground. No, Eric, not expecting much in the way of ice. We could see a period of freezing rain as it transitions over to snow, or snow to rain, should I say, but likely not going to last long enough to feel impacts just because temperatures rise above freezing pretty quickly. And then the period of the switchover isn't going to be um, prolonged, I guess is what I'm going to use the terminology for. Megan, you're looking on that rain snow line, although I'm going to lean more towards rain right now for you guys. Again, if that shifts slightly, you could see um, it could go either way, really. For those of you who live right on that rain snow line, it's really hard to kind of tell you. You know, I could tell you you could get 4 inches of snow, but then it could be all rain for you guys. Or I could say you're gonna get mostly rain. It could get 6 inches of snow. It could go either way for you guys. It's really hard with these systems to kind of pinpoint exactly where we're gonna see that rain snow line set up. Yeah, Caleb, he mentions that it's going to be 10-to-1 ratios. We could see ponding possible with the rain zones. Yeah. I covered that earlier, Caleb. Thanks for pointing that out. But yeah, again, flash flooding, not flash flooding, but urban flooding, definitely possible because if the slushy snow can block storm drains, stuff like that, we could see some flooding, especially in major cities and stuff like that. Definitely a possibility that we could see some heavier rain too. So it's not going to be a situation for in terms of flooding if anything gets blocked. Hey Lisa, for M50 Dundee to Britain, looking at 2 a.m. Tuesday morning, then back to Britain at like 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. So your initial drive would be probably my most concern between Britain and Dundee there. Um, 2 a.m. definitely is when we expect the snow to start, but you should be pretty good. It's just getting underway there. The heaviest snow is probably going to be a little bit after 2 a.m., so I think you're going to be good for both of those drives. But if I had to guess, the 10 a.m. drive on Wednesday morning is going to be a lot safer than the one on 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning. This is for Tuesday and Wednesday. Art asking if this image is for overnight tonight. No, this is going to be for Tuesday through Wednesday. If any closings, Joey, it's probably going to be on Tuesday for you guys. Otherwise, Wednesday is looking mostly just rain with some lingering snow showers. Yes, Northeast Indiana is going to experience this as well, especially with the frontogenesis band. It's going to probably dump 3 to 6 inches of snow, but then you guys further south will be in the rain zone, so not expecting much in the way of sticking accumulations when all said and done. All right, looking through some of these comments still here. Direction's going to be north to northwest, David. Whitmore Lake is going to be a mix. So Whitmore Lake is going to be in the zone there. We're going to see snow initially on Tuesday morning, then switch over to rain. Likely going to see that wintry mix. But yeah, it could be a few inches of snow there for you guys, but then by Tuesday afternoon it should be just mainly rain. Yes, wind is going to be an issue in the dark blue zone, especially into the overnight hours on Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. That's going to be where the winds really start to pick up. And by Wednesday afternoon, they should be, I'd say by Wednesday evening, they should be dying down there. Kind of curious, we're going to see, I'm going to guess we're going to see some wind advisories in effect. But otherwise, yes, wind is going to be an issue. Wayne County getting ice? No, no April. Wayne County is going to be getting snow to rain back to snow. Although the snow on Wednesday morning is not expected to be significant, the snow early Tuesday morning may accumulate a few inches before melting with the rain on Tuesday afternoon. No, we're not expecting much in the way of freezing rain, if any at all, Stacy. Nothing ice for the nothing accumulating ice wise, if anything at all. This is yesterday's map that hasn't really changed much. I did mention the Monterey mix there. Snow to freezing rain is possible, but given the temperatures rise quickly and also the period of the transition doesn't last too long, I just don't think we're going to see much in the way of freezing rain, if any at all. It's a possibility though, but nothing impactful. Samantha, pretty much all Michigan's going to see some higher winds, yes, as that low moves off into Canada on Tuesday night. Okay, yeah, Joel brought up a good point here. I want to kind of point out if you live directly within, we'll say, a 5 mile vicinity of any of the lakes here, we could see some effects from the lake being warmer tap in and kind of reduce those snowfalls. So if you're anywhere on Lake Michigan, close to the lake shore there on Lake Michigan and Lake Huron there, you may see a little bit of reduction of snowfall. Although we're not really certain on that. It's just with warmed lake waters. It could cut in just very briefly on those snow totals.
Yeah, I was actually just about to bring that up too. So yeah, and it's along any of the lakes too, because if you know, or if you saw the map, that low pressure, you have the winds changing direction as the storm moves by. So it'll occur for Lake Huron, it'll occur for Lake Michigan, and even when you're closer to Lake Superior and Lake Erie, then it can happen too. And I was looking at a sounding, and it looks like there's a little shallow warm nose down at the surface for projected soundings for places along Lake Michigan, especially for Tuesday into Wednesday. So definitely you could see about like maybe as much as an inch cut into your totals if you live along the lake. So just keep that in mind. And then as the winds change to out of the west by Wednesday, you could also have some lake enhancement. So a lot of variables with this storm.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I don't know, none of these models that we have right now are really depicting. I mean, the GFS Euro doesn't really depict lake effect snow very well, but I'm kind of curious with those northwest winds and warm lake waters, if we're going to see the possibility of lake effect snow. Although it's not being modeled right now, it remains a possibility, although it's kind of uncertain, though. It could happen, it may not happen. We'll have to kind of wait and see for that.
Yeah, and any accumulations will be light on the lake effect snow side anyways.
Yeah, it's not going to be a prolonged northwest type of wind, so...
Right, because we have been getting, over end of January now, so those lake waters are definitely starting to cool down. They're not still in the 50s, like the high 50s, like they were a month ago per se. But that's why I'm thinking lake effect snow will be down lower this time through.
Right. All right. Beth asked if we can repeat what we said for Whitmore Lake. So Whitmore Lake is going to start as snow Tuesday morning. So as the Tuesday morning hours go into Tuesday afternoon, we're going to see that snow transition to rain. And what's fallen of the snow could be 2, 4, 5 inches along that area in southern Michigan. But when it switches to rain, we're likely going to see most of the snow, if not all of the snow that has fallen, melt. So when all is said and done, when Wednesday afternoon comes through, you may only have an inch or less on the ground. But overall, not expecting much in the way of ice, not expecting major accumulations at all for Whitmore Lake or anywhere in South Michigan. But we could see that initial band dump a few inches of snow for sure. All right, looks like I'm caught up on comments. So, yeah, that's a good way to put it, Ashley. It looks like it's going to be a soup bowl. Yeah, it's going to be pretty messy out there for sure. If you're in that pink zone, it's going to be slushy. It's going to be heavy, wet type of snow. It's going to rain on top of that. Just not a good situation there, travel wise, at least for Tuesday morning. But overall, if you're in northern Michigan, there in the blue zone, you got some snow heading your way. So, any more questions here? So Sterling Heights will be all rain by 5 p.m. Tuesday, Janice. But Sterling Heights Tuesday morning may accumulate upwards of 4 or 5 inches. Although it's going to be kind of interesting to see how these models play out. Like I was showing you guys a little bit ago. If you look at the latest high resolution model, which we were picking up on the GFS and the Euro model, but if we go to the short term models, it also picks up on it. We could see quite a significant accumulation here in southern Michigan before it switches over to rain. But most all of southern Michigan has at least on this model 3, 4, 5 inches on the ground. Some spots reaching 6 or 7. Um, wouldn't be out of the question, I don't think, but isolated spots probably 6+. But that's all going to melt if you're South Michigan. So, Cheyenne, as a delivery driver, my advice to you would be avoid Tuesday morning, but by Tuesday afternoon, you should be pretty much good to go. The bulk of the snow for southern Michigan is going to fall Tuesday morning. And then by Tuesday afternoon, it transitions to rain. It melts most of the snow away. So Tuesday afternoon, evening, you should be good to go for your job there, Cheyenne. Yeah, Belinda, Tuesday will be the worst of the days. Wednesday, as that low moves off to the north and east, just some lingering snow showers remain. I don't expect much in the way of accumulation just because there's not enough moisture available. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But again, lake effect could be possible for lake effect areas. Again, not really certain with that just yet. But Tuesday is definitely going to be the most impactful just because it starts so early from about 2 a.m. and it lasts until Wednesday morning. So Tuesday bulk is going to be the bulk of the snow is going to fall on Tuesday for sure. Ben, you're pretty close to Lake Erie there, so I wouldn't be shocked if you don't get much accumulation down there by downriver. But I will say the models do have the latest model using just strictly the HRRR model does show right around when hover over here. It should show us. It's not showing me for some reason, but it looks like right around 2, 3, 4 inches for you guys down there. So I'll have to kind of wait and play that out. But otherwise, that's going to melt anyway, so don't get too excited. Depends on what time, Pam. Excuse me. Yes, Jay, we'll probably have a wind gust up to 35, 45 miles per hour statewide. So yeah, expect some winds Tuesday, overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday morning, which should be the bulk or the peak of the winds. Roscommon, Houghton Lake, you're going to be in that. I'd say you're probably going to be on the borderline heaviest swath of snow. So I didn't go ahead and say 5 to 8 for you guys up there. Auburn Hills, snow Tuesday morning, transitions to rain Tuesday afternoon, and then that rain will switch back over to snow early Wednesday morning. Overall accumulation will be 4 inches initially. Rain will fall on that, and then it'll melt most of the snow away. And then whatever snows on Wednesday morning will not be significant to cause accumulation, maybe an inch or two in spots, but it should be pretty subtle for Wednesday morning. All right, guys, we're gonna probably hop off here pretty soon, get on your 45 minutes. I'll go ahead and give you guys one last synopsis. So if you guys are asking questions about your specific locations or areas, listen closely here. I'll go ahead and cover it one more time. We're gonna go ahead and start at the beginning. We're gonna watch the model, the GFS model here. We're gonna watch it into the Tuesday morning time frame. Snow will begin. This model here is for 11 p.m. Monday night, so tomorrow night, and then I think the snow starts just after midnight on Tuesday morning. We see the snow work its way in. And I think the snow will likely be heavy at times, especially with this initial band early morning on Tuesday, probably between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. The heaviest snow will probably be falling at that time frame across southern Michigan. That band of snow will move up north, And then the bulk of the snow will fall from the northern parts of Michigan during the day on Tuesday, while the southern parts of Michigan, parts of central Michigan will fill in with rain. So if you are in the southern part and central part of Michigan here, where you see in green, or go ahead and go back to the map here. If you're in the pink area, okay, make it easier for you guys to read. If you're in the pink area, it's going to start as snow, which could be heavy at times, but it will melt, likely melt by the time the system is exited. Okay, it's going to fall snow initially, 4 or 5 inches possible. Rain afternoon on Tuesday, possible flooding potential there as well for Tuesday evening. And then Wednesday morning, it'll transition back to snow, but that won't be significant for accumulation. That's the pink zone. If you're in the northern blue zones, it's probably going to be mostly all snow unless you're close to that rain snow line where we divide the pink and blue there. That area could go either way. But if you're in that dark blue area, especially, you guys have the most potential for the 5 to 8 plus. We could see as upwards of 10 inches in spots. Just kind of waiting on some new model data coming out. We'll have more information here in the next 2 hours. We'll have the rapid refresh model coming out to kind of give us an update. Overall, I think 5 to 8 is definitely likely in that heaviest swath of snow, with potential for 10 inches in spots. Again, not expecting freezing rain in the pink zones, not expecting much in the way of impacts, except Tuesday morning on the morning commute there, just because that snow could be heavy at times before it transitions to rain. So likely we're going to see impacts to the Tuesday morning, potentially Tuesday afternoon commutes, but it should be all rain by Tuesday afternoon for the pink zone. So with that being said, accumulation for areas, again, 5 to 8 plus in that dark blue zone. Around that zone in the lighter blue, 2 to 5 is possible, more like 2 to 4, I'd say. The closer you are to that blue zone, the higher amount likely. And then in the pink zone, again, 2, 4, 5 inches, definitely possible, but it's not going to stick around because it rains. So I hope that answers all you guys' questions. I'll stay on here a couple more minutes here. Joel, you have anything to add to this?
Oh, not currently at the moment. I've been thinking a little bit about it, but I think I pretty much cover everything in terms of wind and such. It's good to it's important to remember with such a deep low though that the winds will have an impact, especially later on in the day on Tuesday.
Yes, I keep forgetting about the wind. We can't forget about the wind just because it's going to be 35 to 45 gusts, and that's probably going to cause a few power outages across the state, likely more to the north in that snow zone, but we still could see some outages to the south here as well, just given the stronger wind gusts. Can't forget that. So thank you, Joel, for bringing that back up.
Yeah, of course. And I was also checking the lake temperatures. Huron and Michigan, they're as high as I think 45 degrees right now. So still a good chance for lake effect, but the lakes are definitely starting to cool down as we get later into the winter.
Right. Especially with a cold snap coming up here that's forecasted. We're probably going
Oh
to
yeah.
see pretty good there. But with that being said, for those of you who are still asking about the next weekend system, we won't get specific on that yet. We are watching that system closely, but again, we're not going to start throwing any specifics out just because the models honestly have shifted over 1,000 miles in the past 4 days. Okay, that's not consistent at all. That's the difference between Wisconsin and Michigan getting snow and Kentucky getting snow. All right, let's be real here. So hold your horses on next week's system. Avoid all the hype that you see about it. We'll have updates throughout the week as it comes closer if we're going to see impacts. But again, just we're not going to go there. I see a few comments still about those. So I want to cover that one more time for those of you who are still wondering. All right. With that being said, I don't see much in the way of new questions here. Muskegon, Grand Rapids, you guys are going to be in mainly the rain area. It could start as snow. It could accumulate 2, 4, maybe 5 inches, but it's not going to stick around because rain's going to wash that away Tuesday afternoon and evening. All right. With that being said, guys, I'm going to hop off. Joel, you going to hop off with me?
Yeah, I actually gotta drive up to Central Michigan tonight, so
All right.
I gotta get going.
All right, so we're going to hop off here, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll have another live stream tomorrow evening to go over updates. And again, probably on Tuesday to give you a last-minute update as well. So again, thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button on your way out. We appreciate you guys. Stay safe. We'll have updates for you tomorrow.